Yeah, and Urgot as well. They realized, hey, you know what they did the first game is Slepper took Urgot, and they kind of ruined those lanes pretty hard. Now, I actually did talk with Fnatic about their picks against Urgot. Normally, normally it was like, hey, Sorag is this anti-laner, and it's this positive laner. She's does well with Urgot. And Lamia and Phalanx were like, no. See, we picked Ashe Taric as a counter lane. We said, look, we can get good aggression from our jungler, right? They picked Nautilus. He's a very good ganking jungler. They said, look, we can go in with a tank, we can go into an Ashra, we can go into the stun. We will shut down that Urgot. That was their plan there. Run in there, shatter all the damage, land the slows. Urgot does not have escape tools, so he can't run away from Ashe with slow. And so, in their minds, like, well, all we have to do is run forward, land crowd control, break him apart, and we'll be fine. Well, turns out it didn't pan out so well because the Maokai ganks were so strong, he snowballed the other lanes, and so Fnatic couldn't keep up, and that's what kind of happened right now. PAH saying, you know what, not really worried about it, let's just, pick out standard champions. There's the first pick, Graves coming out, Corki, Janna's available as well. There's a lot of potential options here.
Yeah, they do have that first Graves pick. As you said, Corki could have a kill bot lane with the Leona. We'll have to see, though. It's not something I want to jump into. Graves, with that quick draw, easy to get out of a fight for himself. Alistar still in the game would be a pretty nice matchup for them down bottom as well. We'll have to see. Compton picks for himself here. 19 seconds left for PAH to get this choose on, and they may be early picking a Lulu. You could see this support or mid. Wow. It looks like they really don't know what they want right now. We are going to see a Jax coming in here. We believe that will be Tox top if they choose to lock that in. A lot of bans tell me that they kind of want that melee comp. A lot of long-range initiation has been banned out here from both teams, so we could be looking for that strong melee comp coming from PAH.
Yeah, I like that sort of strategy setup. This is really cool. Normally we don't, normally we see that bottom lane grabbed out. They grab a lot of safe picks. Now, they do have a lot of options here. That Lulu could be played as ability power in the mid. She could also be played as a support in the bottom lane. And so they said, look, we're going to run a very big, tanky, beefy Jax. We dare you to counter-pick Jax. They dropped out Shen. They dropped out really, Nautilus and Nocturne are away in the jungle. So there's a couple of less options here for the jungle ganks. So they said, yeah, we feel like Jax will be pretty safe in this lane. We'll pick whatever we want. And Curse says, okay, Olaf, Kayle, Malphite, these are all great options. Malphite actually probably one of the best counter laners to Jax. So we'll see if that ends up being what they go through with. But right now, looks like Graves, Taric also in consideration. But this is a very interesting setup already from PAH.
Yeah, they're definitely going for that melee so far. Obviously, they have 3 more picks, which can quickly turn into a poke comp with Jax jumping into stun. But to leave him by himself may be dangerous. See there, the teams setting up. Red Bulling away, preparing themselves. Long day of matches to come, all the way up until just about midnight. We're going to be doing these matches. The Morgana does get locked in, so that's going to be very nice for long-range initiation from Curse. Looks like they're trying to play a really safe game here with their composition.
Yeah, so far they've gotten pretty standard grabs. Last game we did see Vayne coming out there, but she got kind of shut down in lane, and the rest of their team just didn't do so well, and they never really picked up any major kills. So this time we're seeing some pretty standard grabs. Anivia might make her 3rd appearance in this tournament so far. You've got a lot of interesting options here. You can see there that is PAH up on your screen. The closest one there is Navi Next. We just had that interview with him before. For what it's worth, 3 of these. Oh, it's actually the story of this team. So the name is I'm going to pronounce it poorly. My French isn't great, but it's Poto au Hebs, or it's Hebs.
So, French expression.
Yeah, something French. He said it was a poke at Yellow Star. 3 of these members are from Cypher, actually. So Navi Next, obviously from Navi, but Hirk, Moops, and Lune, all from Cypher originally. But basically, they all showed up at DreamHack and said, hey, we should play in this tournament. We're all here. We're all good players. Let's do it. And they've already made it out to a Challenger Circuit event there. They've actually gone 1-0 in the group stage so far. They're basically 1 win from making it into that Final Four. And this is just a pickup team that showed up and said, hey, let's go rock DreamHack. So I kind of like that. It's pretty cool.
When mechanics can come together like that, give a team a few more months and see what they can do.
Absolutely. This is a possibility. I don't know how likely it is necessarily, because Navi is, a well-performing team online, and I think they're pretty secure there. But, you know, ultimately they are playing very, very well here. They're going to have some circuit points.
Yep.
You know, we'll see what happens if they want to go for it. We do see there we have Curse. No, sorry. Actually, we're still looking at them right now. But Curse has locked in their whole lineup. Graves, Tarek, Morgana, Jungle, Malphite, and then Kale's going to be that top laner. And once again, actually, PAH going to grab. It's going to be probably actually Jungle Jax, and it's going to be Yorick as the top laner. So a little bit of a bait and switch there. And they've got a very interesting lineup because that Jax or that Corki could get crazy beefy. Either one could take a Lulu ultimate. Either one could take a Yorick ultimate. And they're going to have a very difficult time dealing with all that damage output. So they've got a really, really cool setup here. I really like Potos. I'm just going to call him PAH. I can't break into the French accent. Otherwise, I just mispronounce the words. And I'm just like, you know what? Never mind. PAH versus Curse. The lineups are here. Both of these look heavily offensive. There's a lot of damage on both sides here. Riv, what do you see? Who's your favorite for this game?
Looking at these team comps, I'm really liking what PAH is bringing to the table. We saw a good aggressive Yorick play just last game between those two teams, so he is going to be coming out strong here. And the duplication for these guys, that it's endless possibilities. It can be Jax, it can be Corki, but what if it's just somebody with a Lulu ult on him as well? Yeah,
there's so many difficult things to deal with. But looking over at Curse, they've got a couple of cool synergies themselves. So you've got, you know, Morgana can jump in there and pop her ultimate. If she doesn't have a Zhonya's Hourglass, well, she's got Kale there anyway.
Yep.
So, you know, one of the difficulties with Zhonya's is you pop it and you can't move and people can escape your ulti. And that can make things very difficult if people can run away from Morgana's Soul Shackles. But if you get that Kale on you and he pops her ultimate, that intervention comes out,
yep.
Then Morgana can still run, of course, still invulnerable. And suddenly you've got a much better chance to stun the entire lineup. You've got Malphite who can initiate first if he wants, and they can still follow up there. You've got the amazing smoke bomb from Graves. You just got a lot of slow in general. Curse's lineup is really, really cool, and they've got a crazy aggressive bottom lane. Tarek Graves, really good at putting out that pain. And Corki Lulu, I mean, they can put out a lot of damage themselves, but I mean, getting stun comboed usually is a bit scarier.
Yeah, we're going to have to see how Maluno plays this one, or yeah. Malino, rather. He does like to come through tri-bush. He does like to go for forward bush ganks where he's going to walk around with his team. Malphite, not the best ganker out of the jungle, only can go for the slow. We're going to have Jax on the stun, so we may see a lot more aggression from that jungler in the beginning.
Yeah, you're going to have... Yeah, you're right. You know, Melino, the slows from Malphite not quite as strong as Jax going with Leap Strike stun. So you will probably see a little bit more pressure there. Additionally, by being purple team, Jax can start at the Golem buff and work his way up around through the jungle, grab that Lizard, get level 3 from that, and then have a very easy setup for top.
Just on the other side of the wall here. Well, Buckshot goes out, and they have great sound mechanics there. You are able to hear Sleppers like, yep, that hit. Everybody heard it, and they're going to be milling about here. They do see Cotton. Ward goes down. They kind of have control of this area right now. They do need to get a little bit of vision above themselves so they don't get pinched out. But that early ward is going to give them vision of the jungler. They have the definite upper hand here for the first 3 minutes of this matchup. And it looks like that PAH is not going to be able to counter with any wards. Guys, coming into this match, CURSE.EU versus PAH. If you guys would like to see Curse take this game, let me hear you in the crowd.
And if you instead want to cheer for the pickup team that came together at DreamHack, PAH, let me hear you guys cheer in the audience.
You know, these fans just as excited about these new teams coming into the light as we are. These open invitational challenger circuit events, definitely a thing to be coming in the future. More teams to be coming in League of Legends. Looks like everybody helping out here. A very fast Wolves going in for Cotton X.
Most of them get stolen, actually. Cotton gets one of them, which is enough, though. He's already halfway to level 2. He's going to easily get that level from here. And with most of them still being his experience, he'll still hit level 3 off Lizard, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
so
they're going to go for it really fast. And he might even do what Malino did last game and just head around the top side of red buff and dodge that ward.
So much damage. Jax at 208 has fully cleared that camp without smite. And Malino actually burning his, just now finishing it. So an amazingly fast opening here. For Cotton X, he's going to have a really good time ganking.
Yeah, however, Reckless, they didn't even miss any CS bottom. That was great.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. But the one caveat there, though, is he's warded right here. They can see Cotton going through the race right now. And also that top tri-brush has been warded. So Curse, same as that first game, putting out a lot of early ward coverage. They're not taking some damage there, but he's going to be okay. problem is, though, Zinnik will get the ability to heal pretty soon, and that's going to make that lane a bit scarier.
Yeah, they need to communicate that a little bit better down bottom. Corki just kind of had free farm fire, or free attack onto Slepper there, so he has to be careful. They were kind of focusing on Lulu, and Zinnik did not have the same idea. So we do see red buff being grabbed there. Going to get an aggressive next coming out up top here, but as you said, that forward ward in the tri-bush going to be very helpful. And you know, Anguish can use this now to his advantage to kind of bait out that and keep Cotton up there for a while. Waste his experience, waste his time. Yeah,
so he's going to know that Cotton's going to run in there. You can see Kale just pulling towards the back. Anguish, thankfully, you know, on his side, did shove the minion wave anyway, so you know, it's going to get there on reset to the turret regardless. He could recall for wards right now, but now he thinks that Jax is recalled. Cotton took a long enough time to say, yeah, you probably thought a recall.
Oh, Luna down bottom, getting taken down. The exhaust hits up, and first blood goes to Graves. Corki was forced to Valkyrie out on that one. Malphite was coming in, but they kind of just turned around. The stun goes down to leap strike in, and it looks like they're only going to be able to force Anguish out of lane for a little bit of HP. More than happy to stay and farm.
Wow, great gank through at the bottom lane. Curse coming out ahead. That, again, that aggressive combo. Tarek Graves, really, really good damage. Reckless being forced you know, to Valkyrie back. He's very afraid of that Tarek stun. So yeah, you know, Corki can be safe because he has Valkyrie, but Lulu does not have that same sort of situation. And you can see that first blood did go down there.
Anguish backing now, kind of staying in the fog of war. Well, kind of backing. He was seeing if he had really any trouble, but as soon as he saw, wow, the ward just died too as Cotton walked through the bush. So he kind of gave himself an idea that he can stay there. You can see him hovering between the top and bottom bush. Slepper happy to farm here down bottom. It looks like his lane has had to bat. Corki picks himself up. Adorance again on Lynette. Will he be able to take it down? Tarek is still there. Shadow has been used, so it's up to Slepper's damage now. Zinnik is not going to be able to reach it. One more shot. No, leaves him with about 100 HP. They turn it around for the counter, and now Zinnik running for his life. About 400 HP on the bar. He turns around. The shatter kill, picking himself up a little bit of gold, but also feeding Reckless one. Back and forth. And 2 for 2 on the bottom.
Oh, man, but he bought enough time for Paolo to come over. Now putting some pressure on a Reckless one. His Valkyrie just came up, and he's going to get away from this one. That was a little scary from Tarek, though. He dove, and he, you know, he did it knowing he would give away a kill to Corki, and that's, I don't know, that seems a little bit greedy to me. You know, I love picking up kills. I'm an aggressive player, but picking up 300 gold on a support versus picking up 300 gold on Corki,
right?
There's different values of gold there at that point. You know, even though it's 2-2, you've got a 2-0 Corki. And he's going to start bullying a lot. He's going to really bully that Graves out. I don't think it was a really good dive there, ultimately.
It was a great black shield by Extinct in middle. He just dodged a complete leap strike out of the bush. Just dodged it by the time he was getting hit. Slepper farming away still. He has 25 CS to Corki's 18. You can see a little bit of the difference there, but still 7. Not that much right now. Corki did just get himself a kill, so he easily made up for that loss.
Yeah, and we can see these gold values are going to be pretty close together. Graves at 1940, Corki at 1813. So the minion kills right now actually pulling through on the advantage. Of course, that first blood, the extra 100 gold as a result, did go to Slepper. So that is building them a bit of a difference here. So right now, you know, this bottom lane, despite all that, still really, really good for Curse. You can see they're up 400 gold in total. 100 of that is Graves right now. So, you know, you got to say Curse right now driving this game, but it still could go either way, of course.
Yep, Angus again warding for himself. Looks like bottom lane, they're keeping it right there. Slepper has been able to freeze that lane completely. Coming down, they do have ward vision, but is it far enough? Yes, it is. Very nice job. They don't have any ultimates that are going to come from that range, so the ward placement can still be close. Anivia now farming in middle, moves to do what he can to kind of push that wave into the tower and deny Extinct that experience.
Yeah, so Extinct's going to miss out on, looks like 3 minions worth of gold, 2 to 3 on experience. And yeah, so that was kind of the price he paid for the gank bottom. Is Anivia shoved mid. He managed to burn the flash away from Lulu and a little bit of mana away from that Corki. So, you know, he did get something back for his pressure, but yeah, he did miss out on a fair bit of gold as a result. So we'll see if that's worth it if they can follow up on Lulu later.
A very nice ward coming from Cotton. Reveals Malphite walking into the jungle. They know now where Malino is. And it looks like Slepper taking a little bit of phosphorus damage there. They do have the timer on the blue buff that are near 7 minutes. for the regular jungle clear. The ward goes in the bush. They don't see the other ward disappear. They did just put 2 wards in to get better vision on both sides. They have pulled it out, so they know they're in the bush. Do they want to initiate this fight? Lulu coming out for the first stun, and it does go to Jax. Cotton picking up his own blue, but does it cost him his life? 300 HP, moves in to lay down the ultimate. Slepper is forced off into the golem camp, and it looks like he may go down. Corki trying to land the Gatling, and he does. No, Moops with the auto attack from the outside, and Curse kind of has PAH in a choke point here, but they're not able to finish out the damage. 1 for 1 there as Cotton able to take one down. Lulu also falls in the fray, and now they have Curse on their heels on the run. It looks like Zinnek may fall on this one. Extinct does have mana, does have a potion going, so he's more than happy to kind of stay here, throw some more Dark Bindings, misses that one, and that will end that fight. Now 8 minutes into the game, 4-3. These teams hugely aggressive throughout this entire matchup with a 300 gold difference right now.
Yes, that was quite a great fight there. I really like the coordination, though, that PAH put out there. Is they knew Golem was getting low, and they said, okay, you ready? You ready? You're going to smite this? Okay. And he sheeped Malphite. He silenced him, so he couldn't make any grand moves there. Couldn't really maneuver or anything, and then couldn't rely on his own damage. So Jax got to do the leap strike burst into smite, got to time it himself, and ensure that he would pick up the kill there. And it was just a great little bit of coordination there that worked out really, really beautifully, and they got their own golem back. They wanted to give it to Anivia, so that was still something they lost, but still, they went 2-1 up in that fight, and that's good enough.
Graves doing a very good job with that. Just about 20 CS up, has kept his inventory mirrored to Corki's right now. Corki 2-0-1, and Graves has died twice, so very good play coming from Slepper to keep himself in this one. He's got to be careful, though. Corki is going to be able to start tearing through this team with Cotton. They also have Yorick, who really hasn't been in these fights yet, so they got to be very careful. Dragon now going at 9-16, so we'll see that coming up at 16-16 for the next one. Goes to PAH, so they are sitting on a good amount of gold here, kind of breaking that 1,000 gold difference now. Just about 10 minutes into the game, not any completed items. A good amount of gold pretends around the board, though.
Yeah, so we're seeing how the gold's going to pan out in this case. Right now, again, pretty much identical. But we'll see. I like the late game here from PAH because they have that Jax who's going to scale very well. Corki will scale a little bit better than Graves. He basically pays for being a little bit of a less well-rounded laner, being more sort of offensively focused. But again, he has really, really good damage. Graves has a bit of crowd control there and the utility from his smoke bomb. But the late game damage output is really, really phenomenal here. And it's going to depend, I think, ultimately, the X factor is going to be Kayle here, because Kayle can absolutely turn into a monster. We saw Dyrus play her at MLG, and he just scaled so very well, got the Zeal into the Infinity Edge, and really blew people up. And we're going to see if that's going to be the same case here for Angush. He's picked up Zertgreaves, he's got 2 Doran's Blades, he is choosing to play as an attack damage carry, but he's at only 50 minions. At 10 minutes in, only has 50. You compare that to the Yorick top laner who's got 77, that is a very big difference. Yorick, however, he doesn't really turn into a late game carry in that same capacity. What he's going to do is instead clone up either that Jungle Jax or that Corki. And the problem, though, is that Jungle Jax, he's only got 34 minions because he's been ganking. He's been kind of playing for his team. So that late game nightmare you expect from Jax, he's going to rely on gold per 10 and kills and assists to get that money. It's going to be a different situation here. And that may not work for them late game.
Malino creeping up top here. Looks like he may try to get an unstoppable force down. But against a Yorick, they're going to have a pretty hard time getting this one down. But he walks into the bush, so there's a little extra damage. The red buff is now ticking. He goes for the ultimate right away to keep himself kind of in the confusion there. And it looks like they figured out which one is him, and they will quickly be able to take it down. Yorick doing what he could to stay alive. Very good job from Malino creeping up in that forward bush.
Yeah, he's going to just try to clear as many minions out as possible. Get some gold back. Bottom lane, though, a lot of pressure. Zinnek taking a bunch of pain right now. Ignite is on. Damage going off on both sides. Graves going to escape there just barely from the wild growth Jax. But here goes Morgana. Dark Binding almost hits it. And Jax says, let's go for the fight. Reckless will drop down to minions. Graves actually getting the last hit. So they trade back and forth there. And, wow, actually 2 for 1 ultimately in the lead there. They picked up, they picked up that kill at top, and then they traded 1 for 1 at the bottom. Great move by Morgana to support that fight. It is really great. Extinct playing very smart, as well as Moobs has to consider this as well.
That's going all the way back to base. Is that they can't really kill each other. It's not really a mid lane fight here. They're going to get their kills from the rest of the lanes around the map, so they have to keep moving. Morgana's not going to be able to output enough damage for the second kill of Egg, and she's just going to dart or black shield anything that Anivia throws out. So they are really relying on kills from other lanes rather than fighting each other. Mid for them is just CS right now.
Yeah, and you've seen that, right? You've seen
Yeah.
Extinct run up, clear a wave and then try to run down for a gank. Last time, he picked up a kill, or he gave Graves the kill onto Corki. Time before that, he made Lulu burn Flash, and that allowed some aggression earlier on as well. So you're seeing Morgana really say, yeah, I'm going to shove, then I'm going to go. Look, Extinct running up now, right? Doesn't have a ward. He's running up to go gank. No, maybe he's not. He's like, that's fine.
Yeah, sees that wave got cleared. It's going to reset quite soon. Maybe choosing to go down. He's just kind of making himself apparent in the entire lane in both brushes.
Yeah, and you're going to see Extinct kind of pull these minions up together. You're going to see that Tormented Soil goes down. You can see it reaches all the ranged minions. A little bit of damage to the melees as well. He's going to push these out, and we'll see if he makes it again.
Again, both of them throwing down their ultimates. Great wave clearing abilities from both champions there. And it looks like the blue is going to go ahead and be dished off here to Moops. They do have the timer on this for Curse. I don't think it's really on their mind right now. It's not something they want to pressure, but they do know that that has gone down, so it's going to be about 19 minutes again for that. Looks like top lane going to get a little bit of aggression here, but a nice ward either by the jungler or by Love up top has been able to save himself there. You can see the pings going down. Yeah, Jack's going to go ahead and forward ward here, or forward bush.
Yeah, so we're seeing now 13.5 minutes into the game. These teams almost exactly tied. So very little gold is separating these two sides. But Curse, though, with the early oracles, is going to really, really enjoy that. And we can see they're trying to bait a fight there. Lune overextends, and there's the stun up on Acidic. A lot of pressure. The exhaust as well, but Morgana is already ready for it. And look at that. Dark Binding comes off. They're forced to run away, and that gank not quite going to happen. They already burned their exhaust as part of that fight. And there we go. Forced away. And Anivia has shoved another lane down up to that turret and is going to ward aggressively, make sure that Wraiths aren't stolen again. Eleno going to come over and try to take these for himself. There we go. Pressure at the top lane here, doing a lot of damage to Anga.
Wow. That giving him that range just such an advantage. I want to point out as well, he's saying that Morgana was leaving lane and losing a little bit of experience to those creeps being pushed into the tower, but she has been backing to Wraith so much. She's still ahead in CS on Anivia, and with those kills, it's going to help. They're both 1-0 and 1 right now on that 10 CS up, the Catalyst, the Protector, but against the needlessly large Rod. So Morgana able to just Black Shield, definitely wanting to flash into that next fight. It could be big damage coming from Extinct.
Yeah, we're just seeing Corki last hit at turret right now at the bottom lane, and they've kind of reset this. Again, 200 gold the difference. These teams very, very evenly matched. Now, Xpeka from Fnatic did say he hoped Curse would get crushed in this game. Right now, that's not the case. These guys have put up one of the closest fights so far in this matchup, and you're going to see Curse trying to bait a little battle here. Jack's kind of waiting around on the side. This could be a 3 versus 1. 4 versus 1. No, 3. Sorry. Yeah, I can count. And they might want to pressure Jax here. Slapper's going to come over. He wants to bait Cotton out if he can, but I don't think he wants to do that. I think he wants to just last hit a turret.
Yeah, Slapper's showing a little too much aggression there, kind of readable, and it looks like Love is going to step in, but now they've pinched the team. They don't even know it. We can see the Dragon backing off instead of coming down to fight. PAH was not ready to consider that fight. They said, hey, oh no, we need to go to blue. There's a lot of people below us, when really they should have went down and helped Cotton. Cotton easily could have leap strike to one of his champions, one of his friendly champions as well, and they could have had a completely different fight there. A little bit of miscommunication.
Yes, we're seeing the early oracles just paying dividends here for Malphite on Curse, and they're taking a lot of control of this map. You can see there's a whole lack of ward coverage now. Curse can see a whole lot. Again, they've warded into the brush, into the golem area, but you don't see that same kind of knowledge. Yeah, okay, you see Lulu and York waiting around, but they could get pinched off, honestly. Like, Curse could go for a fight here and do a pretty good job of it. They're setting Kale down. They do want to go for something major right here.
For the amount of people that are together on Curse right now, they're way too split for PAH. Corki down to the right. Yorick was to the left of Dragon. Lulu was to the right of Dragon's Den. They could not get to each other. And here they are going to try to converge on middle, seen by Kale. And it looks like Angus is going to be able to make it out there quite easily. They're again going to pinch onto this Dragon. PAH not a very good spot here as they have Curse on either side.
They open up on his Zinnig. Zinnig takes a lot of damage. He gets ulted by Kale just in time. Going to keep him alive. Caught next. Caught in the Morgana ult. Taking a lot of damage, but oh my gosh, Lulu keeping him alive. Still, York will do the same. Lunet will go down. Slapper doing a lot of damage, but there comes here around as York, and there goes Morgana picked up. 2 kills for Graves so far, 2-1 in this fight. Angus still walking around. A lot of pain going off. Slipper forced away. Zinnig taking a lot of pressure. He's going to go down to Anivia. And some more pain just going off everywhere. It's just kind of everyone is dropping. Boops still has Egg, though. He can play aggressively. Anguish flashing away. Will survive as Kale. Malino now forced to his turret as well. Boops out of mana almost. Won't do quite enough damage. And Malphite will survive. And in the aftermath, it's still a 3 versus... Is that a 3? I think Lulu and...
Yep.
Yeah. So it was 3 versus 3 ultimately. 2
Oh,
died.
wow.
Oh, and they caught up to him. The slow, so good.
Still becoming aggressive. You know, everybody pretty much went into that fight blowing everything they had. Mana bars are almost completely extinct in this one. And we're going to have to see what these guys can do. They're going to pressure Melino here. And it looks like he may go down. Unstoppable force to put himself in the bush and deny vision. But that is his ultimate. I'd go for about 1 minute and 20 seconds to keep myself alive for sure.
Yeah, but wow, getting forced away like that, pretty bad shape for him. Now we can see that they've taken up a lot of control for themselves. This is now going to be their attempt at Dragon. PAH really enjoying that now. They've gotten themselves now a 200 gold lead, just barely. That Dragon getting themselves back into that one. They're really going to like that.
Here we go. They are going to want this turret down bottom, allowing the minions to grab that extinct, getting caught up here. Lulu is going to be taking the brunt of that damage. Both make it out quite easily. Looks like we are going to have Anivia backing. We'll see what items everybody's backing here, so keep an eye on that inventory. It is going to start popping up. Triforce, Rod of Ages, Spirit Visage as well, and a few more health potions. So some nice completed items here coming up for PAH for this next team fight.
Yeah, now poor Lunette taking pretty much all the damage for his team. You can see 0-4. They just keep focusing on Lulu. She's a very disruptive support. Needs to get in range to kind of do well in this combat. So yeah, she's getting kind of fired down on a lot. But that's one thing to consider though is, you know, all these kills that Curse are getting, you know, they're not really shutting down a high damage dealer when they get these kills in these fights. And so whatever's left over, if they trade 1 for 1, everything left is still a carry, is still doing a whole lot of damage. And so getting the early assassinate on a Lulu, as long as she got the first chain of her skills off, they're not losing that much power as a result. Whereas Corki, who's surviving these fights, Jax, who's getting revived by Yorick, he's still exerting a whole lot of pressure and making these fights go very difficult.
So we see a good amount of completed items now for both teams. As you were saying, with that intervention on the team, still going for the Zonias though. Morgana going to double up on that. It'll be very effective as well for Soul Shackle. And then out of Soul Shackle, they're going to want to focus for the Dark Bindings or whoever is in that fight. They have a lot of possibilities. Reckless getting that down, and he is going to get shackled by himself. Can't get the Valkyrie to go away, and that will be enough damage. Malino coming up with the ground slam to pick up the kill there. They do see the ward in the bush. Here goes Curse now starting to deny across the map. We are going to get into that team fight. It is about 20 minutes here, starting into that mid game. Laning phase is about to end. Moopsy is egged, and we are going to see Lunette have to back out of that one. 2 quick picks for Curse will allow them to take this turret most likely.
Wow, and really good aim as well by Malphite. He landed it so that he got the left edge to stun that Anivia, and the right edge also caught up with Lulu. Of course, they didn't get the kill on Lulu either way, but still, they burned her flash as a result, and they're just going to pressure in right now. It's a 5 versus 4, and they've taken down 1 turret. They're going to take down a second one in mid lane right now. Their minions are gone, but it's okay. They've got a good amount of armor. They're going for that Zonias onto Morgana. She's going to be really scary as well. It's a very, very good turn of events here for Curse Gaming. They've now gotten themselves a 3,000 gold lead of picking up 2 kills and 2 turrets. You
know, that was huge even. You know, props to the minion wave. Sometimes if you're off by like 10 seconds there and the minion wave's not there, you get 1 turret. But they had a full wave coming with them, 2 turrets. That was huge just to play out in their favor like that.
Yeah, and you can see there in the aftermath, everyone's trying to get some gold back. You can see Extinct going for the golem buff right now. Should be a pretty easy clear for him. Nice little bit of mana regeneration and cooldown reduction as a result. You can see that golem buff not up right now, and Moop's going to be relying on that Chalice of Harmony a whole lot for his mana regeneration, and we'll see if that pans out well for him. The Reckless one here on Corki, clearing out the bottom lane as well, but it's going to butt up against, well, no turret at all, so he's going to have to leave that one alone. Graves will just pick up that farm back. Slepper, of course, had picked up the golem buff from Anivia from killing him in the last fight, so he's in really, really good shape right now. Of course, you can see him shoving these minions down as well. Critical strike right there. Infinity Edge and Zeal picked up on that Graves. The Corki on Infinity Force. We'll see if these different builds, how they'll pan out, who's going to do more damage in these fights. It just depends on the positioning and who gets more free shots.
You know, the game pretty even all around. You know, 80 carries doing their job, 6-3, 4-2, and then everybody else pretty much, you know, has 1 kill, 0 deaths, and an assist. Continex being caught up here. They will go for the Black Shield and not the initiation, but no, Zinnik taking a lot of damage, has the Ignite on, and he will take down Very nice job by Moops to put that on just as he was going out of range. They definitely have the upper hand here. As Love says, we want to keep fighting this. I do have Ignite on. Don't want to take too much damage during that. Slepper going in for the advantage here. He goes for Quick Draw, and he won't be able to get enough damage, forcing the flash onto Love. They have a handful of HP between themselves. Do they really want to fight this? Angus coming in, able to slow and getting that percentage damage from his Q as well. Slepper forced out of that fight. Angus trying to stay in. He could have enough damage to do this. Malino stealing that movement speed. The shield coming out from Lulu. Will they be able to keep him out alive? A very nice Pixie. And they are going to be able to get out of that one. Cotton going in. The 1-for-1 here, but Extinct on the backside, not allowing them to go face to face. And they do take down Cotton. It looks like they will open up the first inhibitor.
Yeah, again, a 2-for-1 fight there. Curse turning this game around right now. And they just picked up just a couple of kills just in time. Yorick just ended up getting caught a little bit there on Yorick, and that kind of opened up the floodgates there. His ultimate's still up. He couldn't use it to win that fight, and that's really the reason they picked that Yorick. Is not his individual damage output. You know, he's a bully in lane. He can try to shut down Kale, but you're seeing this Kale, 145 minions and 2 kills. Angus is doing fine. You know, that lane was scary early. Oh, Reckless taking some damage here. Looks like he'll be okay, just barely. But yeah, they picked Yorick to try to shut down Kale. It worked for a little while, but he caught back up. And, you know, he individually is not the star of the show. He's there to buff up teammates, to make Jax and Corki really, really big nightmares. And right now, he's not able to do that for them.
Nice dark binding, just throwing out some damage. You see that he has blue buff. Wow, unstoppable force into the entire team. PAH melting. Soul Shackle, triple kill. And we are going to quadra kill coming up as well. Wasn't even enough room on the score sheet for all of the deaths. And we have just seen the power of the unstoppable force into Soul Shackle. Zinnik throwing down the Taric ultimate as well. So much AoE.
Wow.
That was a lot of damage. How much damage was that, Freak?
Tons of damage dealt by Malphite and Morgana. And I'm very glad that I said that during pregame. I was like, they have that one combo though. If that one combo, if it works, is that Morgana flash the Malphite flash Morgana, and wow, you just watched the health bars went down to half, and you waited as they ticked. And okay, Soul Shackles, triple kill.
Right?
Blown up.
Pick up another one right after. Absolutely amazing. And you saw there, PAH was like, yep, that was that was dominating. We don't want that again. So yeah, with the amount of force they had, Curse, as you said, picking up that very early Oracles, a very early Infinity Edge on Graves, and a lot of dominance from Extinct in that mid lane. As we said, mid lane, they're not going to kill each other. Nivea and Morgana, they could go at it all day long. They're just going to farm. It's really that they were fighting that bottom lane, and then Nivea tried to force the experience, that minion wave, into the turret instead of following lane, which I think kind of hurt a little bit because Morgana just had too much free roam once she got down there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, Morgana didn't mind that she missed out on minions a little bit. You can see, you know, she had 169 to Anivia's 173. So yeah, on the winning team, still got, you know, out minion killed by the Anivia, but it was a price he chose to pay. He said, yes, I will miss out on half this wave, but I will get a flash for it, or I will get a kill for it, and I will snowball the game ahead, because I'll miss 80 gold, but I'm going to earn 300 for my team. It's worth it for me to do that. Yeah. And he did that every single time. Every time he showed up, I think every single time he showed up, he got either a flash or he got a kill or something major happened there. So, you know, really, really good moves by Extinct, saying it's a sacrifice, but it's going to be worth the sacrifice. And you can just see, you know, he was a star player. What, 5, 1, and 6? Of course, the quadra kill at the end meant he opened up 1, 1, and 6. Yeah. And that's fine. You know, you're there, you know, to lend a great bit of crowd control. Excuse me, sorry. You deal a whole lot of damage there. You can black shield your teammates. You're just a great all-around champion as Morgana, and he played it phenomenally.
Yeah, the entire team, and it was a great composition coming out for PAH as well. I said I like that comp. They're going to be able to endless possibilities of who Yorick wants to ultimate, but they really did a good job at shutting down Yorick ultimate top, or Yorick top as well before he was able to get to that ult, not making him as strong and really not giving him that scaling ability into late game with buying items. Yorick actually only was able to get that Mana Moon and the Spirit Visage, so he was kind of really sustaining himself rather than helping the team.
Yeah, he did not get tanky enough. You know, if this game went another 15 minutes long, he would have gotten a Frozen Heart. He would have been a, you know, probably grabbed the Shrellies at some point. He would have been a much bigger force in the game. And of course, the same with Jax. You know, poor Jax went 1, 4, and 3. He had a great early game. You know, a couple of early kills, had some really good initiations with that Counter-Strike stun. But the problem is, you know, Jax is a carry-type champion. He wants to get himself into the late game situation where he has a level advantage and he starts dominating the competition. That Jack's only level 10. Everyone else on that Curse lineup 11 and up. 13, 14, 13, 14, and 11 on Tarek. When you're down in levels as a melee, it is very difficult to survive these fights. Everyone is going to burst much higher than your health pool, and it became very, very difficult.
Yeah, and I think we do have an interview coming up, and we do. And while you guys enjoy that interview, head over to the right side of the stage because we're throwing out some League of Legends shirts right now, but we do have an interview with D-Man and Extinct, so stay tuned for that.
And we seem to be live, so as soon as I got my hand into the camera there, it's just technical. But I'm here with Extinct. Extinct, you just had a fantastic game. First of all, let's tell us about the game. I mean, you guys didn't seem a little bit focused at the start. Things weren't quite going right, and then you just snowballed.
We didn't really play that well early game. That the fights at bottom didn't go in our way. We overextended a little bit, but the Drake fight went really bad for us, actually, because we should have won that if we focused the right people. But then that fight at mid, I think we were quite equal. I'm not sure in the gold, but we felt equal. But the team fight just completely, they surrendered immediately because they knew they cannot come back from that. That was just GG right there.
Yeah, what about bad guy Angus? I mean, you bring him back on the team and he steals the pentakill? What's that all about?
I wouldn't have gotten it because I used all my cooldowns, just bind on cooldown, pull on cooldown, whatever. I'm happy with the quadra. Yes, it's enough, I guess.
And obviously you had the triple kill. We should have had a quadra in the first game as well. Obviously, you straight off the back of it, and it was just Anivia's egg saved it.
Yeah, I hate Anivia. The egg is just annoying all the time.
So you're 2-0 in the group now. It's looking pretty good for you guys. Obviously, we've got the matches coming up later. You've got one more match against Millennium, but I think it's safe to say it's a possibility that you could win that one. Who are you really looking forward to, like from the other groups? You got Moscow 5, CLG, AL in there. Obviously, your former team, or not your former team, but the former gaming house, I guess. What sort of teams would we be looking at from there?
I want to play CLG.EU in the next round because M5 are crazy offline, but I think CLG.EU are going to be first and M5 are going to be second. It's going to be a close match though because Absolute Legends are really good, the new team, the new Polish team.
Yeah, the new Polish team. What do you think of DreamHack? This is your first time here, I believe. My first time here as well. So DreamHack Virgins, I don't know. But what do you think of this event? It's pretty massive. There's about 10,000 people here, gamers. It's a pretty big area.
It's huge. Like when you see all the computers and people, especially in the morning, you come in, everyone's sleeping on their keyboards and stuff. They got pillows, blankets. It's really like blows your mind how many people are here, and wow, it's really great. I love it, and I hope I can come back sometime as well.
Yeah, I think Dyrus would fit in well. There's about 5,000 people with pillows. It's not just him on his own. You not thought about getting one of the onesies that everybody's wearing?
No comment.
No comment. So anything you'd like to say about to your sponsors, your fans, people have been watching you guys?
I'd like to thank Curse for picking us up, and of course I would like to thank TeamSpeak, and you should check out lolpro.com. It's the best site ever, and yeah, you'll find a lot of guides there. It's awesome.
Yeah, your team left you hanging there. They were all going to jump in, but they've all just ran away in the distance. They left him there. So this is D-Man with Extinct. Obviously, they are 2-0 up in the group. So next matchup, it's going to be Fnatic versus Millennium. That will be myself and Joe Miller bringing you the action around about 5 or 10 minutes' time.